In verse 11, it says that the king will desire a beautiful woman's beauty, and she must bow to him. Another version, obey him. Another version, submit to him. And so when we look at the translations and we compare them, we see that what it's getting at is what you know already. It goes back to John 14, that if you obey God and you love God, then you will obey my commands because God put me in charge. Okay, so now let's consider what that means. So, there's these younger females, okay. Um, it's interesting. Part of the reason why I chose that female, Angelina, her name was Angelina. I forgot her last name, but there was also wordplay there. So, angel in A, right? Now, I chose it because it's hard to guess her age. And it goes back to the hypocrisy that we see in society. For me personally, right now, I'd probably prefer to date someone maybe in their mid-20s, late 20s. That person's probably maybe anywhere from 15 to maybe 18, maybe even 19. So it's hard to tell what age that person is. And that goes back to a lot of different ideas. Long ago, some states, if I'm not mistaken, it's still legal for an adult to have sex with a 16-year-old. That's crazy, right? When you're from California, I don't know what the law is in Michigan. When you're from California, you think that's pretty far out there because you're so used to people drawing the line at 18. So when we're talking about romantic justice, right? The word romantic, right? Romantic or mantic, right? Semantic, right? Semantic. So why are they using this wordplay? Why are they not defining things correctly? Why are they lying in the Bible, being too vague? Why are they babbling on and not pointing to me? Because they're trying to control sexual behavior. And you see a bunch of white supremacy, Jewish supremacy, Zionists, what have you. You see a bunch of LGBT supremacy these days. And they're fanatically coercing people. We saw a spike in sexual coercion, according to the news, during the pandemic. And when I say we, I mean society in general. I don't work with or for the government. They're supposed to work for me. They're not doing that. That's that. So when we analyze that situation, what is interesting about that situation? Why does it really stick out? Well, the name of the high school is called James Lick, right? James is one of the authors in the Bible, right? Who points out that faith without works is dead. Faith without deeds is dead. You got to prove your faith through your deeds. Those who obey God do the work of God. Those who love God with all their heart, they obey the commands of God, and they scramble to do people justice. Okay, the 10 Commandments in their pure form. And honoring the Sabbath has to do with me being the Lord of the Sabbath. Look it up. It's in the Bible. It says Christ is the Lord of the Sabbath. The Sabbath is when I say it is. If I say this right now, then it's right now. I'm the Lord of the Sabbath. I'm the one God put in charge to determine what is honoring the Sabbath and what isn't. And there's some information in the Bible about that, and it's a little bit coded, but a lot of it is fairly self-explanatory. So when we look at these issues here that we have to consider, there's a lot of people are proud of their race. Hell, remember, I'm mulatto. I'm in the Detroit area. There's some people who are pure black, and they don't like the idea of a mulatto person running society, including black people. They don't like the idea of a mulatto person who used to be engaged to a woman who's Greek and Italian. I mean, they haven't really said it to me, but you just know it. When I was in California, I came across some stuff like that. And there's people from various races that don't like the idea of a mulatto person telling their races what to do, dating the attractive women of their race. You know how that goes, right? There's people from every race who are hyper-tribalist. They feel certain attachments, certain kind of worldly attachments to their race, and they have their own conceptions of religion and spirituality and so on and so forth. And they kind of shut out universal pinpoint and moral precision to choose those things that Psalm 45 is warning you about, which is your people and your father's house, your family, and so on and so forth, which also Matthew 10 and Mark 3 are warning you about, what have you. I came to bring a sword, the sword of spirit, which divides, it draws a line between the sand and the fertile land, if you will. As set causes things to waste away. We see the country wasting away. We see people wasting away spiritually. So when I look at Angelina, when I look at the gentleman who was in the picture of the first video on this playlist, this series about the James Lick protests. Oh man, I went way over time speaking of that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to chop this up into clips on that. That sucks.